Day 2 of the audio work for the Atlas Extrasolar mission of 2090. I am publicist Andrew Kenmore of Angelon Industries. Yesterday's findings were slim pickings to say the least, but they covered the time from the launch of the Atlas to when the ship exited the Oort cloud and began the main part of its mission, which was to observe extrasolar phenomena and test cosmic background radiation, vacuum density, the effect of extrasolar environment on human tissue, as well as a few other types of radiation. I skimmed the earlier footage more or less because the year preceding the events appeared to be mostly mundane. However, as I get closer to the destruction of the ship, I'm going to be monitoring events more closely, which means progress will likely be slower. Where we are now is 2 days outside the solar system, and I'd say there's around a week until either Peter or Red causes the Atlas to explode. My current theory... I don't know. Neither of them seems very unstable, and the audio outside the solar system is warped. Going forward, I wouldn't be surprised if I came across large swaths of time that are beyond recognition, and I mean, they shouldn't be. Our devices were made to be recoverable in the event of extreme heat, cold, or pressure. We even shot prototypes into space and they were fine. Then again, the astronauts already sabotaged the video records of the voyage. Maybe they found out about and tried to sabotage the audio too, but failed for some reason. Well, only one way to find out.
Red,
Oh, hey, what's happening? Give me just a second here. I'm trying to see if I can figure out what's wrong with our comms. I'm sure Base is just aching to hear our beautiful voices again.
Yes, right. Hello. Hope it's going well. Anyways...
Yeah, it's weird. We can still send data through to servers on Pluto, though. That's lucky.
Sure. I am experiencing visual hallucinations and may be unfit for duty.
Yeah, it's... Hang on, what? What do you mean, hallucinations?
I've been seeing things out the window.
Pretty sure those are called stars.
They're not stars. I'm hallucinating, and with the comms down, protocol dictates that I receive
an interview to determine if you're still good to work. Right. Give me a minute. I think I remember where corporate stored that list of questions. You're absolutely sure you're hallucinating?
I'm hallucinating. Visual, no auditory. What's the first question?
Let's see. The form thing says I have to have you tell me about your medical history and compare it to the ship's files.
Oh, sure. There isn't much. I've had no major surgeries or illnesses except a depressive period in my late teens, which I was medicated for and then grew out of. My parents were similarly nondescript, though, admittedly, I don't know much of their medical history, since they died when I was 15. Not to interrupt, but please don't bother. I have long adjusted to the loss. I don't need condolences.
Right. Looks like that checks out.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, it'd be real awkward if you were wrong about your...
Wrong about my what, Red?
Let's see what the first question is. I think we should be focusing on the interview. This is highly unusual, after all.
Agreed.
Okay, first question. Have you noticed anything unusual with your health outside of the hallucinations?
Just some headaches.
Mm-hmm. And how long do these symptoms last?
The hallucinations last as long as I look out the window. The headaches typically last 1 to 2 hours and have no discernible pattern.
Can you... Oh, that's weird.
What?
I thought it'd have me ask what you're seeing or describe your symptoms in more detail next, but it's just... skipping it.
That is odd.
Yeah, it's asking if you can touch your toes.
Do you want to ask me about what I'm seeing?
I mean, of course, but I guess Angelon doesn't. Maybe corporate just wants to know if you're still in physical shape first.
Sure.
There's some physics problems too. Real throwback to college type stuff. Damn though, how long do they expect me to delay asking you about the actual problem?
Whatever. I'm touching my toes. What do I have to do next?
Looks like a couple minutes on the old treadmill, and then you can do your PHY 2048 homework.
Fine. Let's go.
Hey, Pete, you feeling okay?
Other than the hallucinations?
Yeah.
I'm alright.
Are you, sure about that?
Yes?
Because I just called you Pete and you didn't even glare at me.
Do you want me to?
That's not the point.
Have I been on this machine long enough?
Don't change the subject, dude. I'm worried about you.
Have I?
Yeah, you have.
Give me the physics problems.
Sure. Have I made the airline food joke yet?
Yes, at least I think so. Was that one of the questions? To check if my memory is intact?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Did I get it right?
Whoa, calm down. I was kidding, dude. You think they would have put that stuff on there?
How should I know?
Is that the problem?
What?
How should I know? Not being able to know stuff, really know it. Not being able to trust your memory because of the hallucinations and stuff.
Did you know I have an eidetic memory?
No.
Well, I do. I've always been able to trust my mind. I can still picture my parents' faces. I remember the entirety of every book I read, every test I've taken, every shouted word from a foster parent. Even now I can perfectly picture what I will see if I look out the window. But it can't be real, which leaves me stuck doubting everything else, too.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Thanks for asking me about it.
Yeah, no problem, I guess. Speaking of which...
Right, more questions.
We can take a break if you want.
Doesn't matter to me. Do you finally get to ask me what I saw?
No.
Sally fucking ride.
Yeah, we're getting closer, though. This one's asking about how your conditions impacted your everyday life.
Not much, I guess. I look out the window a lot less, obviously.
So, whatever you're seeing, does it scare you?
Safe to say. Oh, there is something else. I avoid that room now. Try not to do tests or anything in there.
Why?
I have this weird sensation whenever my back is to the window that I'm in danger. Like the feeling that something is reaching out to touch me, but there's never anyone there.
Oh, is that why you've been so jumpy these past couple days?
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be a problem, but you keep sneaking up on me.
Well, I mean, it's 0G. No footsteps. The things have been quieter since we left the solar system, somehow.
I've noticed that too. Like everything's muffled.
Maybe it's aliens.
Why would aliens want things to be quieter?
Who knows? Part of their evil master plan, I guess.
Sure.
Anyways, now they want to know if you believe you're any less suited for work.
I don't know. That's why I wanted to have this done. I guess if I can do everything they want me to, I should be able to keep working. Especially since you'll be able to set me straight if I mess up too badly.
Oh,
But I want to cover up the window.
fine by me. It's not like we need it.
We finally there?
Yep. Complete this form by describing any other symptoms/concerns, and the company will log your responses. Not exactly the bastion of mental health support you deserve, but maybe Angelon will send us back some advice on how to deal with it.
I'm sure.
So I guess I'll ask officially. What you been seeing?
Right.
You can start.
I know, I'm just thinking. I'm not sure how to describe it.
You want help? Like a 20 question type thing?
No, I'm not sure that would make things easier. Okay. It's sort of like, well, it's... Have you ever seen something that you weren't supposed to?
Yeah, I guess so.
It was like that. Or it felt like that. When you can feel your insides squirm and try and fold away, and you're suddenly very cold. And you know with absolute certainty that somehow you weren't meant to see it. You weren't... It was...
Whoa, Peter?
It was almost overwhelming. Vibrant colors like I haven't seen since Earth. light and shadow playing against each other in extremes, and all of it roiling like some great, awful sea. But it was alive. It was a creature, or maybe many creatures, too entangled to differentiate. Human beings weren't meant to look on things of that nature. Not for long. I almost think, sometimes, looking out the window, that it's too beautiful and terrible to be just a hallucination. But it has to be. It has to.
Peter! Shit!
Pause recording. That's new. That's very new. Oh, what the heck? I feel dizzy? Why am I dizzy? Maybe after this interjection I'll take a stretch break. I guess that's a lead. I'm no psychologist, but hallucinations are a sign of schizophrenia, right? Could be that Peter developed hallucinations and later overcame paranoid delusions and blew up the ship. Or maybe he became dangerous, and in the process of trying to stop him, Red blew up the ship. I mean, I know what they say about people with schizophrenia, that they aren't that dangerous, but still. Can never be too careful. And didn't Peter say he'd been depressed earlier? This is something I'll have to pursue. Maybe I can get a hold of the form Red filled out. It'll serve as good backup evidence. I'm still pretty dizzy, so I think I'm going to stop for now. When I get back, I'll start going over what happened after.
Ow. What the fuck?
Yeah, me too. Are you okay?
Did I faint?
It makes you sound like a Victorian ingenue, but yeah, you fainted while you were talking about your otherworldly visions.
Not otherworldly, they were just pedestrian hallucinations.
Yeah, well, you didn't seem too confident on that point when you were actually talking about what you saw.
Was I?
Do you not remember?
I remember a bit, but I mean, it all gets fuzzy right before I fell unconscious. That happens sometimes.
You said, hang on, I have what I wrote down after I made sure you were okay. Aha! Here it is. I almost think sometimes that it's too beautiful and terrible to be a hallucination.
I didn't mean to say that part.
But you did think it.
Well, once or twice, but paranoid symptoms are commonly found in syndromes in which hallucinations are present, so I dismissed them.
I don't know, man. Sometimes it's good to trust your instincts.
Oh, come now, Red, you're a scientist.
Yeah, so I've been told, but math's not gonna solve everything.
I need to attend to my duties.
Gonna go check on the engine?
No.
Don't worry, I checked a couple minutes ago. Why don't you rest? I can handle everything we need to do for the day.
Well,
Peter Rudenko, as your commanding officer, I order you to fucking relax.
Yes, all right, Captain Red McGallagher.
Don't see any Eldritch horrors while I'm gone.
Only if you actually start closing the airlocks.
I think that about wraps it up for today. The rest of that day is looking like the usual. I skipped around a bit, but no new clues came up. Hang on. What's that? For the benefit of the recording, I'd like to note that the waveform for this night is weird. The default levels are way higher than they should be, and at around what would have been 2 a.m. by the Atlas's clocks, there's a small dip and it goes silent. Did something happen? What even is that noise anyway? Well, that's new. Hopefully this other odd bit is less hard on the ears.
That's ridiculous. It's late, you're probably overtired. Go to bed.
I'm just saying, don't you think it's pretty suspicious that you're only beginning to hallucinate now, in the one place we don't have any human data for, and we checked all other factors? What if being out here, outside the Oort cloud, is the problem?
If there were some sort of problem with the space outside the Oort cloud, I'm sure the satellites we sent out would have picked it up.
Sometimes satellites don't pick things up. That's why they sent us out here, right?
You have a point there. Look, Red, I'm having one of those headaches. I'm not really in the mood to argue with you about this stuff.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying, you having these hallucinations, and then the headaches, and now you're screaming in your sleep, like, not enough to wake me up, and it seems a bit all at once, and too close to us exiting the solar system to not mean something.
Then why me, and not you?
I don't know, but I think we should at least work on finding out.
Red.
I'll drop it, I promise. But if your symptoms get worse, no matter what the cause, we should use the extra fuel cell and go home early. I don't want to risk you getting hurt for some data.
Yes, all right. I suppose I don't have much of a say in the matter, since you're the captain.
I wasn't trying to...
Yes, I know. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
I'm just tired.
Yeah, me too. Please don't have any more nightmares, okay? The way you were screaming, you sounded so scared. It freaked me out.
If it were up to me, I'd love to stop having nightmares.
I know, I just meant...
Good night, Red.
Yeah, night.
I see. They were going to try and come back to Earth. Maybe at the last second one of them sabotaged the ship, but why? It could still be that Peter lost his remaining faculties, I suppose. Even though that theory makes sense, I can't help but wonder if the perpetrator was Red somehow. Peter seems so rounded. He's the one who suggested the interview, he's the one who's done the most work, and, well, you can't exactly discredit his brains. It's just hard to believe he would do something that would, blow up a ship and kill 2 people. Really, Red seems much more likely. 2 days out of the solar system and he's already trying to get back. Seems suspicious. I mean, Angelon's competitors would love to make us look bad, and they'd stoop to anything to do it. An undercover worker and a suicide mission seem a little far-fetched, but I don't want to rule them out. Still, for now, I think I'll stick with Peter as my official theory. The way he's behaving is far too suspicious. I think that's it for today. Hopefully, tomorrow will bring more clues.
Atlas of Angelon was written by DS Oswald, with help from Andrew McAllister. Audio edits performed by Logan Smith and DS Oswald. Soundscaping by Theo Wolf, with help from Andrew McAllister. Some sounds taken from Creative Commons sources. Red McGallagher is voiced by Logan Smith. Peter Rudenko is voiced by Andrew McAllister. And Andra Kenmore is voiced by DS Oswald. The outro song is Connection Error by Lauren Estes. Thank you so much for listening.